In the year 2020, the United States was facing an unprecedented crisis. The COVID-19 pandemic had brought the nation to a standstill, and the upcoming presidential election was looming large. The question on everyone's mind was, what would the future hold? The stage was set for a battle of ideologies, as President Donald Trump and Joe Biden faced off in the presidential debate. The nation watched with bated breath, as the two candidates presented their visions for the future of America. As the election season unfolded, the nation became increasingly divided. The battle lines were drawn, with Trump and Biden supporters on opposite sides of the aisle. The question was, which side would emerge victorious? Meanwhile, the COVID-19 pandemic continued to ravage the nation, with hospitals overwhelmed and healthcare workers on the front lines. The nation was in a state of crisis, and the election was just a few days away. As the nation waited with bated breath, Americans from all walks of life headed to the polls to cast their ballots. The question on everyone's mind was, who would emerge victorious? As the results began to pour in, the nation watched with bated breath. The battle for the White House was far from over, and the outcome was still uncertain. The candidates themselves were on edge, watching the results with bated breath. The question on everyone's mind was, who would emerge victorious? As the results continued to pour in, the nation was on edge. The battle for the White House was far from over, and the outcome was still uncertain. As the nation waited with bated breath, the election results continued to pour in. The battle for the White House was far from over. The nation was on edge, waiting for the final results. The battle for the White House was far from over, and the outcome was still uncertain. The candidates themselves were confident and determined, each believing they would emerge victorious. The question on everyone's mind was, who would claim the White House? And so, the nation waited with bated breath for the final results of the 2020 presidential election. The battle for the White House was far from over, and the outcome was still uncertain. But one thing was clear, the future of America hung in the balance.